Signature Fire podcast, where we talk about your purpose, entrepreneurship, and everything in between. I am your host, Brittany Renee. I am a personal development coach, an author, an entrepreneur, and I have my co-host here with me, Miss Pariss.
Hello, everyone.
So, today on the Signature Fire podcast, we will be talking about InvestFest 2022.
Absolutely.
We had the pleasure 2 weeks ago to go to Atlanta and be a part of the InvestFest with Earn Your Leisure. That is who put it on. So anyone who is not familiar with InvestFest, it is basically the Coachella of financial literacy. And I got the call from Alex from the Boss Up Conference, and they had a booth there, and so they invited all the members. And to be quite honest, I had no idea what InvestFest was. And I did my research, and I talked to my team, and I said, I think this is a great opportunity amongst some incredible individuals. And definitely a place to just really introduce Signature Required to more people. So we decided to go, and here we are, right?
We decided to go quickly.
Yes.
Viewers, friends, family, all. We decided to go quickly. We put it together very fast.
Yes.
But it worked out. It worked out. I think it was good.
It did.
Yeah.
It did. I am so happy that we went.
Yeah.
Which now we're going to just kind of like dive into InvestFest and just kind of recap over, some things that, some takeaways and things that we learned and, people that we met and all that. And I really think that, EYL, they have something really great. I think that it is something that is going to continue to grow. I know it's something that's going to continue to grow.
Absolutely.
And I was just so happy to be a part of it.
Yeah.
So
it was wonderful. I think us as a team, so just myself, we had Faith, we had Daryl there. I think all of us kind of immersed ourselves in what was going on, which was just a bunch of like-minded individuals coming together, sharing information, sharing gems, sharing wisdom. I think just in that concept in itself is just huge.
Right.
To bring a bunch of people, and there were so many different businesses, so many different, like just from food trucks to healthcare,
right,
to insurance, to
right,
credit repair. It was
right,
so many different businesses. So it was a really good opportunity to kind of move around and hobnob with like-minded individuals. So I agree with you 1,000%. I'm super thankful that you got that call, and I think it was a good platform for us to kind of push Signature Required and the brand, and it aligned because everyone was of quality.
Absolutely. I wholeheartedly agree with that. So let's kind of talk about what that looked like from a team perspective, right? Ooh. So you kind of talked about like moving really fast and quickly, and all that. We just launched Signature Required a couple of months ago, so very, very new still, right? But from a team perspective, just kind of going there, not really knowing what to expect, because I certainly didn't expect that. 12,000 people is a lot of people.
Yes.
Right? So from a team perspective, let's just kind of talk about that. What did you...
I mean, I don't want to speak for Faith and Daryl, but I would say that it was rewarding, but it was hectic. Again, I didn't have an understanding of what InvestFest was and how huge it was.
Right.
Just saying like, oh, we're going to be at the World Congress Center. I knew it was going to be something big because, Georgia World Congress Center, you know what I mean? But to hear, we're expecting 12,000 people versus being there, actively moving around with 12,000 people.
Right.
It was eventful, to say the least, you know. But I think we did a really good job of just trying to dot a lot of I's and cross a lot of T's to make sure that when we got there, we were as prepared as possible.
Right.
I don't think that we had any major glitches or any major issues. So that was good for us as a team, that things just kind of flowed seamlessly.
Absolutely.
I feel like us as a team, we worked well together. We played off of each other, depending on what was going on or what was the motion of that day's, that event or what was going on that day. It was depending on who did what, who was actually selling or who was out getting content, who was making relationships with other businesses. So I feel like it was hectic, but it was really, really, really rewarding in the end.
Yeah.
Really rewarding. I think we all left like, okay, this was good.
Yeah.
This is good.
Yeah.
We have to do more.
Right.
And now we know what other things we may need to be able to make other conferences go
Right.
smooth. So
Right. And then I also seen some people had like small teams, and then some people had
huge teams.
big teams,
Yeah.
right? And you kind of see like the difference. But as I walked around, when I did get to walk around, and I was just kind of talking to the individuals that were running like the booths, some of them are more established businesses, right? So with more establishment comes more experience.
Absolutely.
And so I think that we did really well
I
to
think
just
so too.
go off of what, a week and a half?
Absolutely. I feel like it was less than that, but
Yeah.
week and a half. Yeah. And this is getting marketing material, merch, tickets,
Yeah.
hotels, transportation.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
Right.
We did it though.
Yeah.
We did it. InvestFest was great. So.
Yes, I agree. What would you say your overall experience was? Not even just aside from being there with Signature Required, but interacting with, different businesses, different vendors. What would you say your overall experience was?
My experience was, I would say, phenomenal. I think that what my biggest takeaway from it is that there's a place. There's a place for this. There's a place for businesses to come together and multi-market. There's a place for businesses to come together and utilize each other to kind of forward moment business and the culture in our community. Being there and just seeing so many different types of people, so many different types of businesses, and everyone on the same page of let's work together. Well, what can we do? That felt so refreshing. I can't say that I've been to a conference like that ever. And I've been to a few conferences, but never on the scale of bringing like-minded individuals together on that type of platform. So my biggest takeaway would be that, just kind of that refreshing feeling of, oh wow, okay, everybody's here to really work together to share information and share gems. It's not a pull of teeth type situation. That was refreshing for me.
Yeah, and I think just with also like evolution, right? And things have just like evolved so much into social media.
Yeah.
And so now you have these influencers that they call them, right?
Yeah.
Influencers who is not on the big screen every single day, right?
Absolutely.
Not on TV every single day, but making major moves.
Absolutely.
Like that was just so inspiring for myself.
Yeah.
Because we see so much in TV, right? But to actually see individuals whom have started at a podcast and the podcast got really big, and just doors opening after another, you know. And so for me, that was just like super inspiring. One of the biggest things or takeaways that I got was from Tyler Perry, which is like a huge inspo of mine on my bucket list of like people that I want to meet, all that. But just listening to him and his journey, and one of the takeaways that I got from him is that as you propel and go up in business, people are going to fall off.
Absolutely.
And that is an uncomfortable place to be in, because when you start, often you want the people that started with you to continue to go with you, and when they do fall off, it's almost like what's going on, you know, and can kind of be a life-changing event when you're so used to them being there. But he had mentioned that as you propel up and they fall off, if you try to drag them up with you, then they can't breathe at that altitude.
Mm-hmm.
And that really just stuck with me because I am a person that wants to take everybody with me.
Absolutely, you
And not that I don't want everybody to go, right? But I also have learned lessons in trying to bring individuals with you that are not ready for
Absolutely.
that, or maybe don't even see that vision. And so being amongst 12,000 people and being amongst a billionaire, you know, and being able to listen to him talk and hear his story about how he was homeless and living in his car, and how he went to Hollywood and went to all these producers and movie directors, and they're like, I don't know you.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean you don't know Medea? You know, like,
absolutely.
what do you mean? So that was a huge takeaway for me, you know, among so many others. But, you know, just seeing just individuals who are where I want to be with
Absolutely.
Signature Required and my brand. And every brand has a story, right? But just making sure that I just stay in alignment with that.
Absolutely.
And making sure that I just always lead with my authentic self.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. I think that a couple of it's super important for you to kind of move in your most authentic self, because then that self is not wavering.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when people put themselves in a position to have bigger heads than what they should,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of puts you in a position to where you're flip-flopping. 1 minute you're on this type of energy and then you're on that type of energy. So I think that people recognize that in you and admire that in you, as well as want to align themselves with you, because they know that 100% of the time you're going to get the most authentic Brittany. I think that that's super important,
Mm-hmm.
and not just for the brand, but for you as an individual, as an entrepreneur, as a Black woman. So super commendable, because I watched you move around
Mm-hmm.
and have the same energy, the same humbleness, and I kind of seen, you know, different energies from different people.
Agreed, 1,000%, which kind of leads to the next, you know, topic of just energy, right?
Yeah.
And like you said, I've never been amongst that many people in our culture at all with the same mission to either network with individuals or to gain knowledge to how they can evolve and grow, and I just haven't. Does it exist? I'm sure. Where? Maybe on a smaller scale, but I maybe can bet my last dollar that that is one of the biggest platforms that to date, you know, especially for you know, our generation. And so to see that, you know, I had some people that I met previously before going to InvestFest, and their energy was a lot different because of maybe their experiences that they have had since I've met them, right? And they're in a bigger space, or now they have grown their platform, and just their energy of me interacting with them was a little different, and I was a little taken back, if you will. And I'm always just reminded when I have those type of experiences to always be who I am, right? And to just stay authentic and to stay humble and to never forget where you come from. And no judgment zone, but no one will ever forget how you make them feel.
Absolutely.
You know, and so one thing about Rick Ross, who has really opened up so many doors for so many, and even with the Boss Up Conference, and, you know, reaching out to the members and saying, hey, I want to invite you, and that type of stuff. I'm always shown the same love with him. And I appreciate that, because he is on, you know, a huge platform. And he is just like us, right? And he says that, and meeting his family and just really seeing how they move. And a lot of people are not authentic, right? A lot of people forget who they are and forget where they come from. And so I just really appreciate that, you know, with him and people that I get just a lot of inspiration from, and that inspire me. Those people really are humble and are really authentic. Milano is a huge inspiration for me. She was on my list of, you know, gifting some of Signature Required. And just like listening to her story through Instagram and, you know, that type of stuff. But she was just very, very welcoming. She was very, very humble.
So cool.
She shared so many just gems with me in that short period of time.
Yeah.
You know, I gifted her a shirt. And she's like, well, wait, where's my hat at?
Yeah.
And just seeing that she's paying attention too. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
People can receive a gift and put it on the shelf. Or they can receive, you know, whatever you have to give and like, oh, you know, I'm gonna wear it. But to ask even for more, like, wait, where my hat at?
Yeah.
You know, I really appreciated her being just really authentic.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely. I'm sure that was super refreshing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, especially with her having a brand as well, and being overly interested in yours. I'm sure that was super refreshing.
Absolutely.
Faith was the lucky one. She got to go over there with you that time.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's
I'm
okay.
sorry, but it's okay.
We got time.
It's gonna be.
We got
It's
some
gonna
time.
be other opportunities.
Absolutely.
And yes, we are gonna definitely collaborate and connect with as many people as we can.
Absolutely.
Eric Thomas,
Mm-hmm.
huge inspo for me. Listen to him in the morning, just getting that like inspiration
Absolutely.
that I need, that encouragement. Super welcoming individual, super humble guy. And those type of people I really gravitate to,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
I feel like those people have not missed the mark in
Mhm.
where they're supposed to be. Those are the ones that are really walking in their purpose
Absolutely.
and are very aligned with the call that God has on their life. And so meeting him and just the power of manifestation, right? And so Eric had mentioned, I really want to meet Eric Thomas. The first person that we see when we're walking up to the mixer was him changing his shoes. Like literally, he was just changing his shoes. We walked right up to him. I'm like, that is crazy. Like,
aligned.
yeah, like, you know, you put that into the atmosphere, and that was one of his goals. Like, he wanted to meet him, and we told him we had a shirt in the car, but we had to walk 2 miles to get to the. So I'm like, we're gonna just leave this in the car because we don't even know if we're gonna see him.
Yeah.
He was the first person that we seen, and then he was like, well, go get it. And we like, well, it's 2 miles. But the next day we were able to see him, able to give it to him, and
Wonderful.
he was like, oh, you brought the shirt. So just even remembering, you
Yeah.
know, different things like that, and I just think that's just super important.
Do you think that like things like that, situations like that, where you can kind of put it out there and then the universe or God just kind of aligns it right up for you? Do you think that has a big thing, or your energy, your authenticity, how you handle people, how you communicate, how you handle business? Do you think that aligns with that? Do you think that the universe is like, oh yeah, this is reciprocity?
That's
She's
a
putting it
good
out.
question.
So now let's give it back to her like this.
Yeah,
You know?
now that you say that, right? I think that I feel like, am I that blessed, right, to put it out there? So when you say that, definitely, I guess I never really looked at it that way. I always think about it like, dang, you said,
Yeah.
you know, and like you said, so yeah, I got a lot on my plate right now.
Yeah.
And so like you said, there's the reciprocity,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And God will remind you of those things in those instances. So
Absolutely.
now that you brought awareness to it, I think I'm more aware.
Yeah,
now.
I think that has a big deal.
Yeah.
And you know, we work together. I work under you in so many other things, right?
Mhm.
I think that seeing it in this light for Signature Requiring this brand and going to InvestFest and watching how you operated and how you handled individuals with genuineness and a humble energy and a genuine energy, I think that's why it was so successful for Signature Required, because of who you are and how you are.
Thank you.
People seeing that, and it's not just I have a brand that says, you know, walk in your purpose. No, I'm walking in my purpose. I'm giving my most authentic self. This all aligns with what I have on my back. So I think people see that. They recognize real and they gravitate to that. You know what I mean? I just think that that's just a blessing. I think that you really put it out there, and that's why you get it back in such a big fold. You know what I mean?
Thank you. I
Yeah.
received that. There were some guys that I talked to too. They have a really, really big brand, and oh, please forgive me because I can't think of the name of the brand right now. But they share some like really, really great gems too, and that was really what they said. Like, lead with authenticity, right?
Absolutely.
And just be real to who you are. And
Absolutely.
they're like, we didn't even start where you're at, you know. And I'm just like, okay, but you got 600,000 followers, like,
Yeah.
what, you know.
Yeah.
But them just even sharing, you know, just how they started and just being real and, you know,
Absolutely.
talking to people and just being who they are.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's super dope. So I look forward to continuing to build the relationship with them and looking at their warehouse and growing and different things like that. Let's talk about some of our goals.
Oh, we had a few. We had some marketing goals. We had some content goals. We had, of course, some merch goals, sales goals. I would like to say that we hit all of them. You know, we weren't like all the way there, but I feel like for this being our signature required first conference and putting it together, as you said, in a week and a couple of days.
Right.
We did really well. We were able to, I think us as a team were really focused on what the expectations are that you had of us and of the brand. And we did our best to execute those expectations daily. And I think with that hard work and that understanding and that accountability for what we needed to do, we were able to really knock it out. You know, we wanted bigger takeaway was that people to understand what this brand is about and not just look at it like, oh, that's cute, but really understand what the purpose of this brand is. And I think we did really well with communicating that to a multitude of people.
I agree.
So I would say we hit our goals. You know, not right there.
From a financial standpoint, yes, but you know, even I was kind of getting the feedback from you guys because I was, you know, listening to the speakers and different things like that. But just hearing that there were some companies that came and didn't really sell anything.
Very true.
And I was like, oh my gosh, you know, I felt really, really bad about that. And us not meeting the goal that we set out, but doing still very well.
Absolutely.
And even after, you know, Eric got online and like
went crazy.
Sales just shot through the roof, right? And so just being there, I feel like InvestFest kind of gave us that push that we needed.
Absolutely.
And just kind of like propelled us into like, okay, we here, signature required is here to stay, let's go, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I definitely think that it was a great experience. Definitely want to be on one of those stages. You know,
will
next year.
We are affirmating that.
Yes.
So if any of you guys are gonna go vote, I don't know what that process is for InvestFest. I don't know, you know, EYL or your leisure. I don't know what that process is, but Brittany, Renee, and Signature Required needs to be hosting the next InvestFest. Okay.
Yes,
don't make us stalk you for it. We'll do it.
Yeah, but you know, just continuing to grow, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And as we continue to grow, people definitely will see our growth, and to be able to share that, and that's what Brittany Renee is all about. You know, personal development and reaching those goals that we set out for anything that we have.
That's why I think you shine so brightly there, because in your everyday life, you are already that individual where nothing. There's nothing that you've accomplished or nothing that you've gained that you're not willing to share to somebody that's hungry, that wants it. You're more than willing to give that information. And it's not about a dollar amount or some clout or anything. It's more so just about forward momentum in the community.
Absolutely.
And I think that's why you shine so brightly there, because that's the whole consensus of InvestFest, you know, is providing information to individuals that want to come gain it and push forward.
Right.
That's another reason why you should be a host. It just totally makes sense, you know?
Yeah.
Aligns, for sure.
Thank you. Yeah, so we're going to put that into the atmosphere and manifest that and speak it into existence. And I'll be on one of those boxes out there with all the rest of those speakers one day.
Faith and Daryl will be down there rooting for you.
Yes, so I just kind of wanted to shout out some of the other businesses that, you know, supported us and that was rooting for us.
Absolutely.
And, some of the people, you know, that we met.
Absolutely.
And, there was just some dynamic individuals, you know, that
Phenomenal.
were there. And I was truly blessed by their energy and their support and, you know, just believing in Signature Required. But I know that you had a couple.
Yes. First, shout out to Troy, Honor Cigars on Instagram, Honor Cigars online, www.honorcigars. Troy was phenomenal. He was actually one of our first sales, I believe. He bought a whole entire set for his wife. He was super informational, helpful, even down to, if we needed water or food or whatever. He was a super, super nice gentleman, and I would love to just kind of give him his flowers and say thank you so much for supporting Signature Required, continuing to support Signature Required. We really appreciate that camaraderie from you. Also, Dr. Tina Waseby, she was powerful. She definitely has a story of her own as to how she got to where she is now, but just supporting Signature Required, continuously coming and checking. And, she kind of chased Brittany around for 2 days. Brittany was so busy, she never got to catch her.
So sorry.
But she did chase her around. She even chased me down in the cafeteria area. So,
well, I need to connect with her.
yes,
Certainly.
Dr. Tina's phenomenal. Sells waist beads. I actually have on the little extra from my waist bead, and she activates them every Thursday. Kind of gives you some good energy to kind of continue on with your weeks. I thought that was really,
Nice.
really dope. Waist beads with purpose.
Okay, I love it.
I love it.
I love it.
Definitely. That's just the few that I had multiple conversations with, but it was so many different people. We ran into Brooklyn T.
Mm-hmm.
Phenomenal. Kept us hydrated.
Yeah.
Super wonderful guy. It was so many businesses.
It was.
So many. I really couldn't even, it was so many that we ended up connecting with and interacting with. But again, those are the ones that are just on the top of my head that really left a lasting impression on me, for sure.
Right. And shout out to Alex from the Boss Up
Alex!
Conference. Yes,
Wow.
Alex.
And, God, what's his name? Eddie?
Edward.
Edward!
Uh-huh.
We love you, Edward. You were, without you, you were the bomb.
Yeah.
So yeah, Edward, for sure. And Alex, yes.
Yes,
Love
Alex.
Alex was
He
phenomenal.
really just wanted to, do his best to make sure that I had the most merch there, and he wanted to make sure we can get it out. So, Alex, thank you. I really appreciate you.
Thank you. Round of applause.
I did send him a message and just really thanked him. But there was just so many different, individuals that were there that were just very supportive.
Absolutely.
And I'm excited to, move forward.
Yes.
And keep the momentum going.
Absolutely.
With Signature Required, I was able to also meet Miss 2 Weeks. I was watching her.
Yes.
On the Fire and Rescue because she was the battalion.
Did we gift her?
We did. We gifted her some Signature Required merch.
Perfect.
Super nice woman, and
Love it.
I follow her on social media. So just kind of walking in the footsteps of these people who have already or where I want to be.
Absolutely.
Have already gotten there.
April.
Yes, Miss
We love
April.
you, Miss
Miss
April.
April Mason. Yes.
Good information.
Mm-hmm.
We had a nail scare, but we got it together.
Yes, we
Yes,
did.
we did.
Yes, we did.
Wonderful.
Yes, we did. So that wraps up our InvestFest experience. You can catch me at BrittanyRenee.com for personal development coaching. You can grab some merch from SignatureRequired.com and stay tuned for our next episode here on the Signature Required podcast.
Bye, everyone.